Hello, hello, and welcome again to this continuation of the three treasures. We are now moving on to the next section called the three powers. I think from here on in, you're going to start hearing more information um, where there might have been a cursory overlook, certain images and things that pop up on the internet or people speak about it, but now we're going to get into that and get deeper and deeper with each episode. Um, we are also starting to move towards Taoist alchemy, since we're, done a couple episodes on just theory. I even touched on that in the last episode, so you can check that out where I talk about some of the energy lines, um, as well as energy points that are associated with the energy body or the chi body. In this one, we're talking about the three powers. And the three powers themselves are heaven, man, and earth. So let's start again with a little quote from Hui Manzu from the first century. Heaven is clear and calm. Earth is stable and tranquil. Humans who reject these virtues perish, while those who adopt them thrive. All right. There's something in all of these quotes, if you write them out and really pay attention to them, that is multidimensional. So if we talk about things as a human to thrive, to be clear and calm, right? They say heaven is clear and calm. So in this case, your mind is clear and calm, and earth is stable and tranquil. Here, we're talking about the body, right? Is your body stable? Is it symmetrical? And is it tranquil or relaxed? We can look at things like tension, stress, hypertension, and see very clearly in modern society and through science what this does to the body. These tensions lead to disease. They lead to many types of diseases in the body. I'm not going to list them all. And if we look from a mental perspective, not being clear and calm and having a mental stress or depression or other areas leads again to all of these mental diseases. So there's something very simple and direct about this, that if you follow these simple laws, it leads to a harmony. And in our case, we want to, if you're sick, it leads to a healing. If you're not sick, it leads to greater health, both mind and body. What we'll do now is just quickly step through these three and what they meant from a Taoist perspective or mean. And then we'll touch on a little bit of the esoteric and then wrap up the episode. So if we look at heaven, it's Tian, earth, Di, and humans, Ren. You'll notice that I put those symbols on the thumbnail that precedes this video. Yeah, so let's talk about heaven. Well, heaven itself is not like a godly heaven. It's when you look up at the night sky, you've got planets, you've got stars, you've got the open sky, all right, all around you. You also have gravity. There's a gravitational force that's there. And if we look at our planet, you have the stratosphere and the ionosphere. So there is a different chemical makeup in the heavens than as we get closer down to the Earth itself. What else is interesting? So, you can call this celestial energy, and it's related to your mind, your consciousness, your thoughts. In a sense, they're influenced by these things. And as we learned from the last episode, how do they get into you? Well, we have the Bahoy point. So these energies can cause a type of brainwashing, but not the brainwashing from cults, but more of an energetic washing that is good for you. Um, The other thing is it's associated with a mysterious force of fate and destiny. And this is called Ming. There is a great book called The Secret of the Golden Flower. Maybe we'll touch on that later. We'll see how it goes. And that was allegedly written by Master Lu, who I touched on, I think, in episode 1 or 2. I read one of his quotes. And they do touch on these topics. And before I became accustomed to these topics and read that book, I kind of found it a bit difficult. But now that I know what they are, I think an easy way to explain it is everyone is born under a sign. So once you're born, the stars have aligned and your destiny is set. It's not that you can't change it. It's just that if you don't try and change it, that's the way it's going to unfold. And that's probably a good way to talk about Ming, and hence why we have in Taoism astrology and divination that sort of plays around with those things. All right, cool. Now the other is Earth. With Earth itself, we have our planet, right? We have mountains, we have rivers and streams. You can have grass, you can have sand, you can have all of these types of different terrains. We also have a type of ionization. It's kind of becoming about it a decade ago and went, duh, like Qigong's been doing this for thousands of years. And that's grounding and the ionization that comes from doing that. So we're going to touch on all of this just at the end of this episode, how they interconnect, the ionosphere and the Earth ions. All right, cool. With this, it's also associated with the aspect of nature and forces, and they call this Xing. So you have this Ming and Xing. What else is sort of I just got the notes here. If we're looking at humanity, or if we get into the man side of things, we are taking from both. And so when we look at the man aspect that meets in the middle, it's the food we eat, the air we breathe, and also we have procreation. We're always procreating or creating new versions of ourselves in our children, grandchildren, and so forth. And so there's this sort of like this sexual energy that's a part of that. Cool. I will just skip that part, and I now want to jump onto the esoteric side. I will probably put this picture up in a future video. I should have got it prepared so I could just share it. But it's a very famous Taoist illustration of the universal forces of work within the human system, harmonized and transformed by the internal alchemy of meditation. That symbol has, or that picture basically has like the water wheel working down below. You've got the Dantian, and then in the middle, you've got some other aspects of, I think they're real. This one's a bit small, but it looks like they're reeling silk. And then above that, you got two masters, a Buddhist and a Taoist master at the celestial region. So this portrait is actually an esoteric pointing to the energetic work that you need to do within your body when you perform Taoist alchemy. So when performing Taoist alchemy, it really assists that you have this philosophy and understanding that I'm teaching in these videos. Sure, you could just do the techniques, no problem at all, and somebody sort of explains it in modern terms. But to have that sort of background to know, okay, there are these different energies. We've spoken about yin and yang. Behind all of this is the grand ultimate, the unmanifested non-dual, the Tao. And it gives it just a different perspective and layering as you come into it. And so when we look at these three energies, you can now see how they represented, which I spoke about before with the three Dantians. So the Dantians are they're energetic. They're parts of the energetic body. But we can also point to them, they're physically located in your body. But of course, as you can, if you've ever read the ancient texts, when they speak of these things, they're very poetic, and they hide things. And sometimes they give you misinformation. They point you in the wrong direction just in case someone stole their text or they died and it came across the wrong hands. So in a sense, be careful with that. I won't be giving you misinformation here. But you can see that the upper dantian that resides in the center of your brain, the very center, is associated via the Bahoy with these heavenly energies. Okay. And then if we have in our middle of our sternum, in the middle of our body, directly in the center, we have the middle dantian. And that's associated with things like the air we breathe, and the food we eat. It gets processed there and transformed into energy. We also have a digestive system that excludes the waste. So we're talking about that energetic aspect. And then finally, we have the lower dantian. And I probably have to do a whole, series, or at least a detailed video of where it's exactly located in the center of your body, below the navel. That is with the earth energies. All right. So those 3 points are associated with heaven, man, and earth. And if we go back to the original quote where he said, you need the calmness of mind and also tranquility of body, there's something that you can try here that I'm happy to share. There's a bit of a centering exercise. You want to find the center of your being. You can do this either seated or standing. And what you want to be able to do is you place your finger on your belly button like that, and then the other finger on between the 2 eyebrows, and you push in and you lift up. And when you do that, you'll find this tingling energy within your center, and it helps you find that center of your being. If you're standing, you'll notice that it shifts your weight. If you were like to the left or to the right or too far forward or too far on your heels, it will bring you into center to find that place. One of the other parts is we want to rise or lift from Bahoy to connect to the heavens, and we wish to just, in a sense, just sit. Or I'm not going to go through the whole of how to stand, and because there's different stances and so forth, but it feels like you're just seated at the hip. And if you feel that you have that alignment of your skeletal system when you do that, and a connection with the earth, it feels like there's this sinking in, but at the same time this centerness is rising up through Bahoy, then you are achieving what was spoken of at the beginning of this video, and you're achieving it in an energetic fashion. You're connecting into those energies, and rather than using thought or a bodily movement, so to speak, we are doing a body structural alignment. It changes you that energy can then flow through you naturally. With this, just simply trying to find that center and becoming more and centered, that your whole physical body hangs off that center as it rises, will create greater tranquility and relaxation within the body. Again, we can do multiple videos of how this goes from physical to energetic. As we perform this exercise, our mind is actually focusing in and concentrating on that center, which is the Chongmei that runs from your Huiyin up through Bahoy. And it's a centerpiece that continuously rises. So when I practice this, what it feels like is there's a rod, like a light beam rod that comes from the earth directly penetrates through Hui Yin, through my center, out through Ba Hui, and just keeps going. Okay? So it's not just in the body, it's outside of the body, below and above. And I believe with these three powers, when you understand that central energy line that runs through you, this is how you begin to connect heaven, man, and earth within yourself, and hopefully become more peaceful in mind and calm, as well as a relaxation and tranquility of body, just as the quote promises. All right, thanks very much for your time. I hope that helped. And as we progress, I'll try and show little tidbits of technique with the, the theories, so you can practice along. Of course, just a reminder, the courses that I'm going to be placing online, they will, in a sense, be the reverse of that, where it's a full description of all techniques and just maybe a sprinkling of theory of where it came from, pointing people where to go to look for it. Now that I'm giving these videos, I can just point to these videos. All right, hope it helps. All the best. Bye for now.